Eric Bailey, not just another motivational speaker. Google has ranked Eric the #1 activational speaker on the planet. Eric Bailey is a thought-provoking, critical thinker who will make you approach your business and your life in a whole new way.
I really think that we need more Erics in this world, so bring on the activator, more of him.
Ladies and gentlemen, we present to you Eric Bailey. Eric Bailey.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Life After 60. My name is Eric Bailey, and I'm the host of the show. And for those of you who have been following the show, you know that we're focusing on anything good and positive about life after 60. And of course, in the fourth quarter of life, in the 50s, leading up into the 60s. And we want to highlight the great things that people are doing, lessons that we can learn. And today we have a fantastic show. I've got my homeboy, GCI Group General Manager, Cameron Lawn, who we're going to be interviewing, who's doing amazing things in his industry. So welcome to the show, Cameron.
Morning, Eric. How are you, mate?
I'm doing very, very, very well. So look, you know what? As you know, my style, I'm normally like jump right into it. So why don't you just give our viewers around the world just a brief insight bio of Cameron Lawn?
Okay. Grew up in Melbourne in the 70s and 80s, eastern suburbs of Melbourne. Left school at an early age, left school at 15. Went off and did an apprenticeship as a motor mechanic, and then fell into the sheet metal industry after I finished my apprenticeship in that field. Moved around a little bit, in my younger years. Lived on the Gold Coast for a little while. Moved to Sydney. Met my wife in Sydney. We decided I didn't want to live in Sydney. She didn't want to move to Melbourne, so we moved back up to the Gold Coast, and been here since 2000. So 23 years now. Met a gentleman while I was working who wanted to start a business. We spoke for a little while, and we started what is now GCI Group back 20 years ago now.
Wow.
So it's been a bit of a journey.
Yeah. And so now, looking back 20 years ago, was that all a part of your vision? So if you had a vision board 20 years ago, what are some of the things that you would have put on that vision board?
I don't think I had a vision board,
okay.
To be honest.
Right.
Probably it's only been the last few years I've started to strategize, plan, look for a vision. I've sort of stumbled my way, I think, reasonably successfully to where I've got to, just by doing having a passion for what I want to do, enjoying it and working hard.
Right. Okay.
Could I have been more efficient at getting to where I've got to? Yep, probably. But I've had a great time getting to where I've got to.
Fantastic. Now, for those who don't know, what exactly is GCI?
We're a metal fabrication business, essentially. So we offer services to different industries, providing their metal products, essentially. We're about 130 staff. We've been going, as I said before, for 20 years. And we've got you've seen our culture. We've got a great team.
Yeah. And financially, through the COVID years to maybe pre-COVID to now post-COVID, actually, how has the business been going? Financial wins? How would you sum it up?
I think we're in a really good place, to be honest. Our future's very bright, our current's very bright, and our past's been very bright. So, tick, tick, tick. COVID years, they were challenging, especially around staffing, making sure people were okay. It obviously affected a lot of people in different ways, but we've come out of it quite strong.
Okay, great. So what were the key factors that contributed, you think, to your career growth from an intern to a general manager, and how can others emulate your success in their own careers, particularly in that range of 50 plus? Because as you know, the older you get, the more you get set in your ways, and it's a little bit harder to deviate yourself back to a way that you can become more engaging and open to new ideas?
I think the key factors, like to getting to where I am at 50, is finding something you enjoy doing, having a passion for it, and working hard. You've got to make sacrifices and work hard. That's probably getting to where I am now. As far as how can others emulate in their 50s, what I'm doing, I'm learning that myself. To be honest, I've had a good realization that I'm challenging myself to learn more, around tech and things like that, things that I've sort of probably had good people around me. I know my limitations. I take advice from people in my team and weigh things up. It's only now I'm probably starting to put a bit more emphasis on self-training in areas that I'm not strong at. So yeah, it's a learning process, I guess.
Yeah. The mistakes that you have sort of made in the past, did it take you a while to learn from them, or did you continue making the same mistakes, or how did you recover from those?
No, I think I'm a quick learner.
Okay.
Yeah, I left school young because I'm not a bookworm. I'm not academic. I learn from doing, and I'm a quick learner when I'm doing something, I think. So yeah, sometimes the mistakes you made are the best way to get your lessons, and you learn to move forward from there.
Okay. How do you maintain a sense of purpose and motivation as you continue to lead and drive growth with your company as you move toward the next chapter in life?
I maintain a sense of motivation. I think my team does that for me. The people I've surrounded myself with motivate me. Seeing the results we achieve together is really motivating. Sense of purpose. I think when I can impart some wisdom and help train and coach members of the team, that's my sense of purpose.
Right. Okay. I think you're being a little bit modest when we're talking about the success of your organization. Now, I'm not asking you to divulge any information that shouldn't be out in the public sphere, but can you just give our audience maybe the type of growth you've had within your business, and if you can, use some dollar figures or some numbers or some sales targets of how you've been able to exceed expectations? Because I just think I want people to get a real good sense of how you have actually driven the culture and driven the sense of urgency and personal accountability within your organization. Because I believe too many times at our age, we get to the point where we just feel that we're just doing a job, but we don't pat ourselves on the back. We don't give ourselves enough flowers. So I want to give you as many flowers as I possibly can before people are giving you flowers when you're in the ground. So if you can give us some numbers that can really jump out and really show the growth that what's happening with you at GCI, that would be fantastic.
Well, I guess a way to describe it, we continually expand on the business. The investment in machinery we've got here in automation and things like that, it's in the tens of millions, obviously.
Wow.
And with that kind of machinery, we managed to keep, we're at full capacity. We add another machine, we fill that machine. We just continually, and we train up apprentices, and we've got to get more apprentices. And we're just continually growing and filling that capacity. That's a measure of success for me, in that, there's no waste. We're always, we've got a culture within the business of continually improving from the ground up. Everyone's like, how can we do this better? I guess the success of the business is the people, obviously, the team we've got, the way we all interact, our culture. Those success measures, or just the financials, are just a product of that. I know the directors are very happy with the balance sheet. So yeah, but the success for me is the day-to-day, the people.
Okay, right. What's been one of the biggest challenges post-COVID with growing the business? Where it's recruitment, or is it marketing? Is it keeping up with technology? What would you sort of attribute to that?
Well, I think anyone who runs a business would probably know what's going to come out of my mouth here, and that is recruitment. Recruitment, yeah, it's number one. It's a big problem. We could easily do with 20 staff tomorrow. If we could find the right people to fill the positions. We're always on the hunt for good people to join our team. Good people really stick with us. Our tenure here is magnificent, as far as long-term employees, and people are really happy. The right people, though, obviously. I think post-COVID, there's been a change in people. Probably, I think people have evaluated their lives, I guess. How much are they willing to compromise career versus work-life balance? I think there's a real sweet spot in there where you can have both. I think if work can be something that is meaningful to you in what you do day to day, there's real. It's not really a sacrifice to put in a bit more effort at work. So yeah, I think that balance is starting to come back a little bit. I think, but yeah, we're all mindful. We've all changed a bit for sure.
Okay, so you've mentioned in there that recruitment is a big challenge. So I'm just going to throw it out there on your behalf. So anyone listening to this broadcast anywhere in the world, if you are in this industry and you're thinking about maybe migrating or coming to Australia, or you have some ideas about finding out more about it, I do know that GCI has a small group of how would you call them? They're powder. What's their title? They're coming. They came from the Philippines. Yes.
Oh yeah, we've got some Philippine fabricators.
Fabricators. They've come over. Yes.
Yep. So they've come over and integrated really well into our business. The teams embrace them, and yeah, they're really enjoying their time with us. So it's working really well. So.
Yep. So throwing it out there, if you listen to this, if you're interested, just hit us up and we can give you some more information about that. So how do you maintain a balance between experience-driven leadership and staying open to new ideas and innovation in your role as a general manager? Now, remember, before you answer this question, just remember, I see you at least 3 times a month. So I see how you interact. So you better be honest on this one, my brother.
How do I maintain a balance-driven leadership and staying open to new ideas and innovation? Well, I think first and foremost, knowing what my strengths and weaknesses are is a big help in that. I know I don't know everything. I haven't got the right answer for everything, but I have got a great team that if I can facilitate that team to come out with the right answers, we'll always come up with, the right thing to do, make the right decisions. My view on things is easily can change if I'm shown the facts or better ways of doing things, or let's just give something a go. We have a culture here where if you give it a go, you put in your all and it doesn't work out, well, that's all right. We'll learn from that and move on. I think having that sort of that culture where that's possible for people to throw it out there and know that their ideas will be heard. Just that's what helps it.
Okay. As someone who has achieved significant success in your field, what advice would you give individuals who are transitioning into their 60s and seeking to redefine their professional goals?
Well, I think one is, like, as I said, for myself, realizing that, okay, you are getting on a bit. I don't like to think I'm in the 4th quarter yet. I'm not there yet. I'm probably halfway through the 3rd quarter. It's not quite 3/4 time yet. Okay, but right. I'm getting to that. I'm getting to that point where, I'm really starting to think about what my purpose is at work. What is it that I can improve on now to stay relevant, I guess. A lot of my team that I've been coaching and mentoring and working with and taking advice from as well, we've been together for 10 plus years, a lot of us, and I've got to keep thinking now. It's sort of, how can I start to change what I do to stay relevant and to improve on what we do.
Yeah, I do know, and I think it's a great testament to your strengths as a leader, is one of the relationships that I've been able to sort of watch, and that is between you and your sales manager, Gary Maple.
Yeah.
I know you guys have a great friendship. After work, you guys hit the gym. There's a 45-minute to an hour walk
Yep.
around the complex. And I was personally happy to accompany you and your sales manager, Gary, on a overnight camping trip where
Yeah.
we got bogged down in the sand. And I
Yeah.
did watch the way we work together as a team. And I just think that goes a long way with actually being in the trenches with your team. And I do
Yeah.
think more organizations should have those kind of relationships. It in your experience, is that the norm? General managers or CEOs or board members, whatever, having outside interests that include members of their organization, their team?
Probably not.
Okay.
I think some people struggle with wearing the different hats. There's people right throughout our business that I sort of interact with outside of work as well as at work. I've got a good mate on the shop floor that we go hiking and whatnot together. I think that being able to be a mate, but also knowing, at work, yes, I'm the boss, but what does that boss look like? It's something that if you get it right, you get to experience time outside of work with these people that you work with, and it just brings everyone closer and willing to work harder for each other. You got each other's backs. We sort of we do a lot of we have a fun time at work, to be honest.
Oh yeah, and there was that other time when you got dumped into the barrel of water. Do you remember that activity at GCI? So
I'm willing to put my hand up and
you are.
play the
I've seen
clown
it.
and be vulnerable.
I've seen it firsthand.
Yep.
So as a leader with a successful track record, how do you continually evolve and learn to stay ahead of industry trends and developments? And how can individuals approaching the age of 60 or in their 50s do exactly the same?
Again, I think it comes back to my team, to be honest. I can't be all over every bit of technology. And as I say, I'm not a bookworm. I'm not, some of the more technical side of things these days don't interest me probably like they did, running the machines, how they work, all the specifications and things like that. But I've got guys on my team that have got that passion. And they can report back. We sent a couple of young fellas over to the big Germany Expo recently. I've been a number of times, and I thought, you know what? I think members of the team would come back with some, would get more value out of it than I would myself. So they're getting out and about, talking to machine vendors, looking at specs. What are the new things coming online? We've got a lot of new automation being installed now and coming. It's the team members that have got that as their responsibilities, that because they've got a passion for it, they really get everything we can out of it and pass that knowledge on. And as a team, we make decisions.
Yeah, you highlighted something a little bit earlier, and I think it was around having a great culture. What are some of the things that you have implemented, say, in the last maybe 2 or 3 years, to help bolster the culture? Also, any programs you have for health and wellness or mental wellness, really getting on top of, staying on top of the curve when it comes to making sure that the team has all the training that they need, not just to be good skill people, but family people, community people, good men and women who are living their best lives.
Yeah. Well, if I think back even before that, Eric, probably 10 years ago, when sort of culture became sort of, a bit of a buzzword and started to, as I got more experienced, I started to look internally at our culture and stumbled across the fact that we actually have a good culture. Back then, 10 years ago, without even thinking about it, it was just the people that we'd surrounded ourselves with. Good people stayed, bad people sort of people that didn't fit in with our culture sort of moved on, and it sort of grew from that. And then sort of within the last 5 years or so, it's sort of more investment in people, in our people, leadership training. Knowing that whilst we've got a great culture internally, and we do all we can to foster that internally, bringing in external people to work, take people aside and work with them one-on-one. People like yourself, the training you've provided, and your team, when they come in, the feedback I get from the staff is that are in those training courses and whatnot, it's great, and they can see that we're investing in them. We care. Members of my team now come to me and say, "Oh, look, my kid's got a running event or something." I'm like, "Go, just do it," because I wish I'd done more of it when I was younger. I was probably a bit too much heads down, and just focused on work. But nowadays, there's a strike that balance. But I'm really encouraging of that now. I think it's really important.
Yeah. We're just about out of time, but there's two more questions I want to ask you. The first question is, when you look at sort of where you have evolved at this particular moment, I want to just focus now on your health. I want to focus on your family life. I want to focus on your business and your personal goals. What would you like to see, or how would you like to elevate those 4 areas, say in the next 5 years?
Well, my health, I think that's something I'm pretty good with. I could be better. I probably, but look, I do take time to, as you said before, go to the gym, go on walks. I like hiking and getting out into nature. I think for me too, on the health side of things, I like a bit of alone time as well. I'm planning a 2-week bike trip on my own, just to get away from things and just clear the head, reset for that run into Christmas.
Yeah.
But there's something I'm consciously thinking about, and I think that's important. What were the other ones? So there was health,
business as well. Yeah. The business goal. Yeah.
Yeah. Business goal for me is to, I think, first and foremost, to keep building on the team we've got, finding the right people, integrating them into our team, showing them that what a good workplace is, and hopefully bringing in people that can sort of show us new ways to keep evolving and improving as well, bring their ideas on board. For me, that's where I think the growth of the business will come if we get that bit right.
Yep.
And continue to get that bit right.
Family,
well, that's a funny one because I'm at that stage now. I've got my oldest daughter, sort of the raising of the kids is finished. I've got my oldest daughter over traveling around Europe at the moment, and my youngest daughter's sort of finished school last year and working out what she wants to do. And while she's working in retail, she wants to, work out what it is she wants to do with her life. So now it's with family, and my wife and I, we've got a lot more time together just to focus on us. So it's about guiding those young adults now and being there for them, and starting to plan, I guess, for my wife and I what it looks like for us. Who knows? I mean, I hope not too soon, but grandkids and things like that are starting my age to start to think, that's just could be around the corner. It could be 10 years. Who knows? So I think family will keep throwing it at me.
Yeah. And is there anything that you have on your bucket list that you have wanted to do for a very long time, whether it's some trip somewhere or some great adventure? Is there anything that you wanted to create or design for yourself that you've said, okay, I'm now in my early 50s. By the time I'm 55 or 56, I'm going to do this one thing?
I haven't thought of it yet.
Okay.
But a simple one's getting out, doing more fishing and things like that, getting out in the bush more. As I get to do a bit, but sort of focusing on planning around it. And, so I guess with something like, say, fishing will come, instead of just going off and doing local stuff, planning a big fishing trip,
a big one,
place where guaranteed some big fish.
Okay. Yes. Okay. I'm going to get you out on this last question. What advice would you give anyone approaching? You don't want to say you're in the 4th quarter, so I'll just let you play along. Who's approaching the end of the 3rd quarter of life? in business, health, family, and personal. What would you say to someone who's looking at the next chapter and saying, in business, you would consider thinking about this health-wise, family, and personal?
Oh, I think the one thing that sort of just dawned on me, I was at a conference somewhere, and the presenter said something like, a lot of people looked around the room are in their sort of 40s and 50s, and he said, you know what, you're all living your lives like, time's infinite. It's not going to run out. Now, I don't mean to sound daunting about that, but it's right. You've only got a certain amount of weekends left in even your working career. Don't waste those weekends. Don't just bum around the couch and think, yeah, that's what I like doing. I think there's something we could all be doing better than laying on the couch. Sure, watch your footy team play and get that over and done with, but get out and about and realize that utilize the time you got.
Good.
The end isn't near, but it's always getting closer.
Yeah. Well, Cam, I want to thank you so much for giving up your time to talk to our audience. Once again, this channel is about enlightenment. It's about empowerment. It's about inspiring other people out there who I use the term fourth quarter to maybe have a retrospective look at their life.
Yep.
Maybe set some new goals. Meet some amazing individuals like yourself who's kicking goals and changing lives and developing cultures and building a great eco-friendly system around them. And I want to applaud you for all the work that you've done with yourself and also with your team. So thank you so much. I wish you all of the best moving into the last quarter of 2023.
Yep.
And just want to thank you so much.
No, look, and thank you, Eric. The way I've seen your work firsthand, and you've been a big part of helping us celebrate, and the work you're doing with different parts of our organisation right through. It's great. The feedback's great, and keep up the good work. Appreciate it, and love working with you.
Thank you so much. So I'm going to put the address, contact details of GCI in the comments below. So anywhere in the world, if you're feeling like, hey, you love this interview, you'd like to find out more about, what's happening at GCI, I'll put their website, have a look, particularly if you're interested in maybe migrating or immigrating or coming to Australia, coming to a great place in Queensland, Yalata.
Yep.
Yalata, yeah, baby. Yatla's hitting. I'll put those details there. So remember, share, like, comment on this video, share it with your peeps. If you are in the fourth quarter of life and you have an amazing story and you'd like to maybe get it out in the world, wherever you are in the world, send me a message and we'll have a chat, because I want to make sure that this channel is bringing people from all walks of life, diversity, culture, races, genders. We just want to do it well right here. And just remember, you don't get what you want in life. You get what you work for. So thanks very much, Cam.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you.